Hello, my students. Our lesson today is going to be about making judgments, and it is addressed for a grade six students. Now, first of all, what is a judgment? In fact, a judgment is a decision or an opinion that you form about someone or something after reading the evidence and thinking carefully about it. I mean, first of all, you should read something that tells maybe a story about a certain character, and then you start thinking about what that character says or does, and then you come up with ideas about that character, with decisions, with opinions, with judgments. First of all, let's read paragraph 4, taken from a lesson that you had already read before, which is she had to walk before she could run. It's the story of Wilma Rudolph. The paragraph says Wilma's mother taught her very early to believe she could achieve any goal, and the first was to walk without leg braces. So once a week, the mother drove her daughter a 90-mile round trip to Nashville for physical therapy. The mother also instructed Wilma's siblings on how to massage their sister's legs. Done several times a day, this monotonous routine continued for several years. Now, the whole paragraph is about Wilma's mother and what she did. Now, what can you deduce or maybe conclude about the character of Wilma's mother? Is she a weak person? Is she a strong person? I mean, all those things that she did, she didn't give up. She insisted on taking her daughter to the physical therapist to take the certain medication or treatment, and she did her best. She even told her other children to take apart and massage the sister's legs. She never gave up. Now, does the writer tell us everything? Does the writer tell us about his own opinion of the mother? Did he say that she's a strong woman? Did he say that she is a determined woman? He never did. We came up with the idea by ourselves. So, by rereading this paragraph, we learn that Wilma's mother taught her daughter to believe in her ability to walk without braces, taking her to a physical therapy clinic once a week and instructing her siblings to massage her legs daily. What can we deduce about the woman? What is the judgment that we can make about Wilma's mother? We simply can think that she was a very loving, she loved her daughter so much, a strong-willed mother. She had that strong will, that determination um, that made her never give up, who dedicated, who gave much of her time and energy to make Wilma believe in herself and walk again on her own without basis. Actually, the writer didn't tell us that directly. He didn't say Wilma's mother is loving, Wilma's mother is strong willed. He never did say that, but we came up with the idea because we saw the way she acted, her actions. So, with the readers that are smart and clever, can make sound judgments, can make right decisions, right ideas and opinions. How? By carefully evaluating a character's words and actions. So, they just have to observe the character's words, what he says, and the actions, the things that he does. In turn, making such judgments can help those readers evaluate the development of a plot and can understand the events of the story much, much better. We're going to read three paragraphs that are selected from Wilma Rudolph's biography, the life of, or the story of her life. We have to read each one carefully and then answer the questions that follow. First, the first paragraph says school was not the happy place Wilma imagined. Her classmates made fun of her leg braces. During playground games, she could only sit on the sidelines. She studied the other kids for hours, memorizing moves, watching the ball zoom through the rim of the bushel basket they used as a hoop. Now, we read this paragraph, we had to understand more about the girl. Now, look, they said that she was always sitting around. Why? Because her classmates used to make fun of her and she used to watch them. In her mind, all that she was concentrating on were the moves that they did or they made in the game. So that made her memorize the moves and know them very, very well. Now, if she had had the chance, if she would have the chance to play, she would have played, but unfortunately she couldn't because she couldn't move properly. But that made her think more and more about playing and becoming better and improving. Let's think about those questions. What did her classmates lack? They said, oh, I know that her classmates made fun of her. So, what did they lack? What is the thing that they didn't have? They didn't have any sense. They didn't have any empathy. They didn't have any sympathy, any pity, any love for others. They were happy with themselves making fun of others. So they lacked this empathy and sympathy and pity and mercy. They had no manners, in fact. They lacked empathy, for they made fun of her medical case. How do you think she felt while she was there, sitting by the sidelines, doing nothing, only just watching the others play? She must have felt uneasy with impatience. She was waiting very much, very eagerly for the time when she can play with them, impatiently. So she might have been unhappy, lonely, lonely, sitting there alone. What does her action during the games tell about her? Remember that during the games, she was concentrating, memorizing the movements, thinking about how she would do them once she is able to walk. So, what does that tell about her? Now, was she affected by the classmates' mockery and them making fun of her? She wasn't affected at all. On the contrary, she ignored them. She forgot everything about those classmates' mockery and concentrated on studying how the game was played. That tells us that she is a really strong girl, not really a weak girl who would be affected by the mockery and the laughing. She had a dream that she hoped to fulfill one day. So she must have been confident, very confident. She had that self confidence, confident, sure that one day she would be playing with them. And that was the most important thing to her. So if we go and read more, the second paragraph says, one Sunday morning, Wilma unbuckled her heavy braces and set them by the church's front door. She wanted to go inside the church, but she left her braces outside. She took them off. Taking a deep breath, she moved one foot in front of the other, her knees trembling violently. They were shaking because it was the first time for her to walk alone. She took her mind off her knees by concentrating on taking another breath and another. Whispers rippled throughout the gathering as she walked alone down the aisle, all the way to the front, and sat down, her smile triumphant. So people started whispering about her. Why do you think they were whispering? So let's see. We all know that the gathering or the people sitting there were whispering about her. How can you tell that the gathering knew her? They knew her. They knew that she was still Wilma, who was unable to move properly, unable to walk properly because she has something wrong with her legs. So, how can we tell that they knew her before? It's because soon as she entered the church, the gathering or the people there were so amazed of her achievement that they could not keep focus on the religious ceremony in progress. They stopped listening to what was happening inside the church, and they started talking in low voices about how this little girl was walking. They were very surprised, and this explains why they started talking quietly to one another. Did the writer tell us directly, clearly, everything about this? No, we made the judgment and we understood. The second question says, make a judgment about Wilma, stating the evidence that supports it. Now, what do we understand about Wilma? Wilma's strength, Wilma's uh, dream. She was a real dreamer, and she had that strong will to fulfill her dreams. So, from the way she acted there in the church, we may understand the following: she was a strong girl. Once she decided to walk, she did it in front of everyone. She disregarded, it means she forgot, she ignored the pain and her trembling knees and concentrated on breathing while walking until she achieved her goal, feeling triumphant, feeling victory. She was like a winner there. Now let's read the last paragraph. It says, Wilma practiced walking as often as she could after that. And when she was 12 years old, she was able to spend more time without the braces. Oh, so it was like a big achievement to her. Observing her daughters frequently walking unaided, without help, without braces, the mother wrapped the hateful braces in a box and mailed them back to hospital. That's what the mother did. When she saw that her daughter was able to move without them, she put them inside the box and she sent them to the hospital. How wise was the mother's decision to send the braces back to hospital? And we had to go and explain. How wise, how right was it? Was it the right way of doing things? Was it a really good decision that she took? Or maybe not that decision. What would have happened if she had kept the braces? Maybe her daughter would have the chance to use them again, and maybe she would go back again to using braces forever. But it is so good that she sent them back because now Wilma has to depend on herself. It was so wise of the mother to do that. By sending the braces back, she meant to reassure her daughter that she was completely cured. Now she was good, back again, good. And that suffering was over. It finished. It was an act that boosted her daughter's self confidence. This thing, the thing that she did, sending those back to hospital, sending the braces back to hospital, was a very wise thing, was a very good thing, because little Wilma started to have more self confidence and she was able to fulfill her dreams afterwards. How did Wilma respond to her mother's decision? Was she weak? Did she ask her again to go back and get those braces again? Never. She must have felt good about herself because others, namely her mom, believed in her. This must have boosted her self esteem or self confidence and made her very, very, very happy. So this was our lesson for today. It was about making judgments. So what did we learn today? We learned today that whenever we read something, we just have to go and observe and watch what the characters are doing, just to understand more about their characters, and to maybe to understand more about the events as well. So that's all for today for making judgments, and thank you.